So I recently received my US citizenship. I had my N400 citizenship interview and my oath ceremony, and I wanted to make a quick video about how to prepare for that interview along with what documentations to take. To start off the preparation part, I would definitely recommend getting these civics exam cards. It is 100 questions. It's pretty basic. It's history, it's politics, it's geography, and all of that. I recommend having the physical cards because you can then practice anywhere and ask your friends to quiz you. So I had these cards which really helped me out, and I prepared for about a month or two, and I had most of those questions, if not all of them, down by the end of it. So definitely get the physical cards. If you're not a fan of physical cards, I would suggest for the civics exam for the N400 interview, there's multiple apps on iOS and Android, easily available on the App Store and the Play Store, free versions which you can download on your phone and practice there, which also comes in handy. So civics exam is very important. You need to get 6 out of 10 questions right to pass that test, and if you prepare well, give yourself a month or so, maybe 30 minutes every day, I think you should be able to make it. The second thing that is important is if you're not a native English speaker, written exam. So there's a 1 sentence, maybe 4 words, sometimes 5 words that you'd have to write. It's generally on an iPad. You would have to use either your fingers or the touch pen to write on the iPad. So it's an easy exam. It's just 4 or 5 words in an English sentence that you have to write there, that the interviewer will monitor and see how you're doing. The next part of that exam is English speaking. Again, 3 to 5 word sentence. You just have to read it aloud, and the interviewer will listen to it. So that's the reading exam, there's the writing exam, and there's the civics test. The next portion of the interview is actually going through your application form itself. So what I did and what I recommend everybody to do before you appear for that interview is print out a copy of your N400 naturalization form, print it out in its entirety and go through it page by page, line by line, with your friends or family, and ask them to quiz you about it. But the reason I ask you to do that, or I recommend doing that, is because they will basically be going through this entire form with you. Things like your travel dates, things like your relationships in the past or the present, things like your job, your tax information, all of that will be cross-checked with you by the interviewer going through your N400 application with you right there. So it's a good exercise and a good practice to do it a few times with your friends and family before you appear for the interview. I did go through this about 5 times myself and had my friends ask me this at least 3 or 4 times, cover to cover. That way you know exactly the dates, the times. I know most of us must have filled these forms ourselves, but it's good practice to actually know the exact information so there's no chance of fumbling in the exact interview. So yeah, print out your N400 application form in its entirety, go through it a few times, ensure that all the information there is correct and you're aware of it, and when they question you, you can confirm if all of those details are correct. A big portion of that going through your N400 application is going through all those yes and no questions. There's about 20 or 30 of them, and it's pretty common and it's pretty easy to go through them, but it's a good practice to also, though it's common sense, to go through it with your friends so you get a practice of answering to those questions. Some things very specific to my case that I got asked was my travel dates, because I traveled back to India. So the interviewer just confirmed how many times I had traveled to India, and he knew it was family oriented because I'm Indian, of Indian origin. And then the other one was a few trips to other countries, and for the dates I could just talk to him about how they were vacations. So pretty straightforward. Again, how many times, which countries you traveled and why you did is an important story for you to know and be able to explain. Other than that, tax information, they would ask you tax questions if you owe any federal, state or local taxes. Again, straightforward question. If you have any complications there, it's okay to go into details and explain to them the exact situation, which is what I did. And the interviewer was very amicable, very friendly, very open. He heard me speak and explained the whole tax situation. And yeah, so if there is something in your file that you think is not the perfect scenario, that's fine. Sometimes those things happen, and the USCIS officers know that. If you can just prepare your answer accordingly, show them the valid proofs, communication, documentation, and all of them as proof, if and when they ask it, I think that's it. And that's what I did, and everything was smooth. So yeah, the civics exam, which is 100 questions, 10 would be asked, 6 of which you need to get right. The written exam, easy sentence in English language. Um, the the reading exam, again an easy 5 word or 3 word sentence, going through your N400 application in its entirety, end to end, any information about your travel, your relationships, your tax. These are basically the things that get mostly asked, your jobs, history as well. So yeah, that was my interview. It went for about 20 minutes. These are the things I prepared. As you can see, I have all my documents that I took with me. I have all my relationship related documents here, all my proofs that I submitted to the USCIS when I applied for the N400. Basically, any originals that I had used to submit during my N400 interview application, I took with me. It's not required, you only need to take the essential ones, but I just like to cover my bases, so I took all of the originals, anything that I had mentioned in the N400 application. I took all my permanent residency or green card related information. I took all my tax related information, and in this folder I had all my N400 application and all the supporting documentation. So I had about 5 to 6 files with me in a backpack, which is again permissible. They let you take that in, and yeah, the only thing that they keep is the N400 interview confirmation letter that the USCIS sends you about the date and the timing and the address that they keep, and they validate your green card, your passport, your driver's license, just so they know that's the right person. So these are the things that I took. This is how I prepared, and I hope this helps you out. If there's any questions, feel free to ask that in the comment section below. And this is not professional or legal advice. This is my experience. I hope I was able to help somebody prepare for the interview. Generally, I noticed that the interviewer are friendly people. I noticed the vibe around the room, and every interviewer who was coming and picking up candidates for interview, they were really sweet and amicable and friendly. So I hope your interview goes well, and I hope you prepare well. So if you prepare well, I'm sure it will be easy. Best of luck for your interview, and yeah, this is how I prepared, and this is, I guess, in some ways my success story about a successful N400 naturalization interview.